Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review, demo, and some comparison swatches on the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I've been trying this foundation out now for the last few months, and I wanted to get a review up because I know Sephora is having their VIB sale where you get 20, 15, or 10% depending on your tier. And I feel like when you see a lot of recommendations, you see a lot of Pat McGrath products in there because they're so expensive. So if you can get 20% off, that's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I do want to say, if you're new to my channel, I do have oily, acne prone skin. So I was nervous trying this out because I have seen a lot of people with dry skin really like this. So I was a little bit nervous that I might not like it. I do have my brows done, and then I have the Laneige lip sleeping mask on. I forgot how nice it made your lips look and like juicy, and it just feels really good. So I have tried this out, like I said, the last few months. So I've tried out with different primers and without primers, as well as with a brush and with a sponge. So I am going to be applying it with this e.l.f. sponge because it's my favorite way to apply it. This is a pretty liquidy foundation, so I do feel like when I use a sponge, I use a little bit more, but I like the finish I get with the sponge a lot better than the finish I get with the brush. And I have already primed my skin. I use the Bobbi Brown Primer Plus Mattifier. This is a must for me because if I don't use a primer with this foundation, I get oily pretty quickly right here on my chin and right here in the center of my forehead, which is pretty typical with any foundation that's not matte. So I do prefer a mattifying primer. I have not tried this out with any kind of hydrating primer because, again, I do not have dry skin, but I did want to mention that I do have to prime my skin. As far as my skin right now, I do have quite a few breakouts here in my forehead, but I believe it's because I've been wearing a hat because it's been getting up to like 68, and I do still have my sunscreen on, but I do like to wear a hat as well just as like some extra protection. So I believe that's what causing that, is like I'm sweating. And then I do have my scarring right here that's, is just always here. It's always hanging out. So we are going to get started. I do have the shade Light 6. When I took the Sephora test, because they do have a test online, it kept putting me between Light 6 and Light 7 depending on what foundation I put in there. So I definitely feel like maybe I could try Light 7, but again, I do have Light 6 here. Again, this is $68, and it says that it is a natural finish, medium coverage. It's supposed to be hydrating, and it's a community favorite, whatever that means. Sephora updated their little app, and that's on there, but it says that it's a long-wearing, customizable foundation that builds from sheer to medium coverage in a wide range of universal hues that manifest the ultimate sublime skin standard. So it does say that this is good for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin types. I feel like they've updated that since I purchased this, because I feel like the finish said radiant, but maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, you get this super nice box, which, yes, I still keep mine in the box because for $68 I feel like I need to. And then you do get a really nice frosted glass bottle. I mean, it is so nice. And then this just pulls off. It's really nice and snug, which I like. And then you have a pump. I hate tops that when they're really loose and they fall off, and if you'll be traveling or something and it'll push down, you get foundation everywhere. But who's traveling right now? So I do like to shake this up because, like I said, it's pretty liquidy. It doesn't say you have to shake it up, but I do anyway. So go ahead and I'll show you guys the consistency. So again, this is pretty runny, as you guys are going to see. So I'm just going to start over here on this side, and again, I'm using that e.l.f. sponge. So I definitely got a little bit of sun, I feel like, on my arms and stuff, but I think that, like I said, this shade is fine. Again, like I said, I do feel like I get lighter coverage with a sponge, but we will go back and build up in the areas where I need to. And again, I do already have my brows and stuff on, so just trying to be careful around that area. I will say this does have a very light fragrance. It's nothing bad, but I can smell it when I'm putting it on my skin, and it's like a weird scent. It's not weird bad, but it's one of those that I feel like it's like a foundation-y smell, but not I don't know, it's not a bad smell like paint or anything like that, but right, so I actually meant to zoom you guys in, I forgot. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and show you guys how the second layer of this applies. So let me zoom you guys in and I'll be right back. All right, so this is one layer of this foundation. I am taking this like Rare Beauty concealer sponge and I'm just kind of patting this right here in my nose where my sponge couldn't get in there. I do this with all of my foundations. I really love this brush, by the way. And just pat around my nose. And then I am going to add a second layer just to show you guys that it is buildable. But you can still see like these breakouts and stuff through here. I would say that this is, in my opinion, more of a light coverage foundation. I don't know if I would quite say medium, but I am just taking this, like I said, got some breakouts here on my cheeks and just bringing it up on these breakouts here on my forehead. But I do feel like I still get pretty good coverage when I build this. It's a easy foundation to build up, I feel like. So, and then just kind of down here where I've got some more scarring. And then I'm just going to do just a little bit more, just a small pump so I can get the other side of my forehead. Just these little breakouts right here. All right, so this is the second layer. As you guys can see, it actually did give a little bit more coverage here on these breakouts up here on my forehead. Again, if those breakouts were really bad, I would probably spot conceal with this foundation because I definitely feel like it's still more of a light coverage foundation. I wouldn't say it's medium coverage. I think if you're someone who has perfect skin, then yes, you would probably consider it medium coverage. But if you're someone who has acne or struggles with anything you're trying to cover up, I would say this is a more of a light coverage foundation. So yeah, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys out. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll be back and I'll share with you guys the comparison swatches as well as my overall review. Alright guys, I just finished up my makeup and I just did something super simple. Before we finish on to the review, I do want to go ahead and put some comparison swatches in against some other foundations that I have in my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and insert those and then I'll be right back. The first foundation right here is the Pat McGrath Foundation in Light 6. Then we've got the NARS Soft Matte Complete Coverage Foundation in Light 2 Mont Blanc, which I freaking love. Then right here we've got the new e.l.f. CC Cream in 150C, which I'm still trying out. And then right here we've got the Too Faced Matte Foundation, and this one is in the shade Pearl. And then we've got the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear in 420. And then lastly, we've got the Urban Decay Stay Naked in 30NN. So, alright guys, I hope those comparison swatches helped. So now I'm just going to go through the claims here about this foundation. I'll tell you guys how it works on my skin. So first it says that this is a natural finish. I definitely agree with that. It's not super matte. It's not super dewy. It's kind of like that in between. Again, I think what makes it look even more natural is the coverage. This again says it is medium coverage. I would say this is more light coverage. I think if you have perfect skin, not a lot to cover up, then yes, this is medium coverage. But if you're someone who struggles with acne or covering up anything, then you will definitely see that this is light coverage. But with that being said, I think that that's kind of what gives it that natural aspect, is that, you know, you still see your skin through this foundation somewhat, so it gives it more of like that, you know, natural look. It's not like that perfect, like flat NARS Soft Matte Complete Coverage Foundation, you know what I'm saying, like look. But again, this isn't heavy either though. This is super lightweight. That's something else that I like about it. I will say that it is buildable. I usually go in with the second coat. I did try to go build it up even more third and fourth coats when I was trying this out, first trying it out, and I definitely don't like that because with the more coats you put on, the heavier it feels and almost kind of like cakey, and while not giving a lot of coverage, if that makes sense. So I feel like it is buildable in the sense that you could do 2 layers, but I feel like any more than that, you're kind of getting more in like the cakey zone. Now this does say that again, this is for pretty much all skin types, but I definitely feel like if you are someone who has oily skin like me, you definitely want to go in with a mattifying primer. Again, like I said, I like to use this one because if I don't, I start to get oily super quickly in these areas, and with that oiliness, it gets that very like heavy, I've had my foundation on all day feel, whereas when I wear a primer, it does hold up really well. I will say this is not the best foundation to wear under a mask. I find that it breaks down, and again, I don't know if it's like, you know how it is, like when you're wearing a mask, you're breathing that hot air, but it kind of starts to break down like all along here, not just where I wear my, like my mask touches, but like on my entire cheeks right here, my chin, my upper lip, even when I set that with my all-nighter spray. So again, I feel like this doesn't work the best with a mask. I much prefer, like I said, my NARS one, but I do love how lightweight this feels on the skin, which is really nice. Now, as far as this being hydrating, again, I don't feel like this dries my skin out or anything like that. It's not matte by any means. So I can't really say if it's hydrating because I don't have dry skin, but I do feel like it feels really nice on the skin. It's not one of those that I can tell is there throughout the day. So I do really like that. I would say that if you are someone who has a lot to cover and you want that coverage, that this is not going to be the foundation for you. But if you're someone who has acne and you kind of like that foundation where the imperfections show through and gives you that more skin like, look, then you definitely will like this. If you're wanting something that's going to last, 12 hours, then this probably is not the one for you. Again, if you have oily skin. But I do feel like if you want one that lasts about, I'd say 6 to 8 hours before it kind of starts breaking down, then I do think that this is a nice foundation for $68. Like, I know that's a hard price to justify, but for me, it is something that's very unique because I do feel like something with coverage this light can sometimes either make me like super oily looking, but this one, like I said, while I do have to wear a mattifying primer, I do really love how it looks on my skin. I think it's just very pretty, and I do like the fact that some of my imperfections poke through because, again, I think it makes it more skin like. So I like it and it really does work for me. I think ultimately it's going to come down to the price point because I feel like while like I really really do like this foundation, but I could see how a lot of people that might just like it would be like, okay, that's not worth the $68 and I'm not going to repurchase it. But in all honesty, I will probably repurchase this foundation when I run out of it because I do like how it makes my skin look. So overall, this one definitely gets a thumbs up for me. If you guys would like to see any other foundations or any other products before the Sephora spring sale, just let me know down below and I'll try to get those reviews up. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.